Hello, I'm Lydia and you're listening to Lens from the Fens. Hello everybody, welcome again to another episode for Lens from the Fens. If you're new to listening, my name is Lydia. I'm 25 years old. I have been doing wildlife photography for the most part of 6 years just as a pure hobby. And yeah, this podcast has been made in relation to the work I've done, the experiences I've seen, and offering some advice and tips on wildlife photography. So for everyone who knows, it has been a really stressful and horrible year in terms of what's been happening. But when I managed to develop on with my podcast, I then discovered that I could do walk and talk episodes for the times that I could go outside and do my daily exercises. So I've recorded another, which is going to be played for this episode. And it's most likely going to be my last one of this year, simply because I don't know what the weather is going to be like for going into December, and it will pretty much depend on what restrictions will be put in place after the 2nd of December in England. So I recorded this just yesterday at the time that this has been released. I went for my daily exercise about 5 minutes up the road along the River Welland, and it runs along the town of Deep in St James, which is my hometown. And it's a place I haven't been to very often, but I have really nice memories going there from my childhood. And even in recent years, I've had quite a few memorable experiences there. So I thought I'd go back along, see what wildlife is there, obviously take my camera with me, and I took my microphone with me so you lovely listeners can join me. I think from what I've recorded and what I've edited out, this is going to be quite a lengthy episode, simply because, as always, I'll talk about what species I see, and I also talk about my personal thoughts on things, describing the scenery for you, just so that you are all involved in what I'm experiencing at the time. So it's quite lengthy, I'll admit that, and there's been a fair bit of editing throughout because there was some construction work going on in the background, and planes flying over and all sorts. So I've edited it down. I got rid of any not so nice sounds to hear or like the man-made works, and tried to keep it as natural as possible. And I'll just add, from the very start, there is quite a loud noise at the beginning, which is running water. So I'm just pre-warning you that it will be loud at the beginning. So I'll pretty much get straight into it for now, and then I shall speak to you all again at the end of the recording. So this walk, talk and shoot was taken at Scout Island, or otherwise known as Low Locks, in Deep in St James. Enjoy. So that rush of water you heard was the water that runs through Low Locks, between Deep in St James and Market Deeping. There's two areas of locks. There's High Locks, which is more in the centre of the town, and Low Locks, which is further down the River Welland. And it's one of the earliest forms of, or earliest evidence of there being river traffic being put in place. So they're obviously really not used anymore, but it's a nice bit of history. So I've just crossed that bit of the river, and I'm now on an area called Scout Island, which is part of the Rotary of Deepings, sort of like a group organisation. Basically this area was left neglected, overgrown and just strewn with litter. So the owners of the island gave permission for the Rotary Club to do some work to reclaim it for the community. So there's benches been put in place, native trees, plants have been planted, and they've also put up bird and bat boxes. So it's sort of like they reclaimed this bit of nature to keep it as it is and hopefully get more wildlife coming. I think a redwing or a fieldfare just flew over. But I remember this area pretty well. I've been here quite a few times over the years. There's a moorhen just in front of me as well. But yeah, I remember photographing a stoat one really frosty morning here a few years ago. I photographed a pet portrait shoot for a lady who lives in Deeping. So it's a nice area to come to. It's a nice natural area. There's back gardens which back onto the river. And it's just very scenic. It's very nice. All sorts of wildlife come through. There's been otters that have been spotted through here as well. So I thought I'd come here on a nice late autumn day. I thought it'd be windier than it is, but it isn't, which is nice. There's a few clouds in the sky, but the sun's still out. Yeah, I'm just gonna cross the island, which then takes me to another bridge. So it sort of forks the river out and then it joins after the island ends. Actually, before I do that, I'll see if I can go further into the island before I go onto the bridge. So yeah, the other bridge is another former lock, but there's no river, or there's no waterfall going down it. It's a bit muddy down here, so I have to be careful. But I can hear various tits in the trees already. Still a fair bit of green around, a lot of the ivy's still growing. But a lot of the leaves on the trees have fallen on the ground and most of the trees are pretty bare now. Ooh. So it's a sure sign that autumn's almost over. Looks like there's some more ducks up here as well. Mallard, mainly. Oh, there's some long-tailed tits up ahead. We've just flown off. Oh, blackbird just flew in. Some wren just flew by. That's probably the loudest bird you can hear. A wren just performed in front of me, which was really nice. Just crossed to the other side of the island now. Quite a lot of water has come through from recent rains, I think. So it's a little bit muddy, not so clear the water, but times before you'd be able to see the fish in the bottom of the bed. The sun's coming out now, it's really nice. Adds a little bit of warmth to the day. But I think I'll head back towards the bridge now. I think there's something burning because there's a bit of smoke in the air, and it also gives it a misty impression over the river. No, it doesn't smell nice, so it's definitely something burning. There's a mute swan just in front of me. There's a blue tit above me somewhere. Right at the top, there it is. Oh yeah, there's been quite a few military exercises going over the Fens is like a prime location for plane exercises to be carried out. So there's been, I think it's the A400M military plane going over the last couple of days. So that's probably what you're hearing now, jackdaw flying over. Yeah, the Fens is like a prime location for the Eurofighters to carry out dogfights, which is, it's cool to see, but after a while it does get a bit annoying. Drowns everything else out. Right, I head back to the bridge now. Right, the question is, do I go left or right? Left takes me down towards the Deeping Lakes Nature Reserve actually, and the right takes me towards the centre of the town. So I think I'll go left, so there might be less chance of me bumping into other people. So this is counting as part of my daily exercise, means we're all still in the lockdown 2.0. So I thought I'd take my camera out as well while I do my walk. Then if I see anything of interest, then at least I can photograph it at the same time. It looks like there's more mallard, moorhen. Something just flew across into the trees to my right. A pair of moorhen chasing each other. But yeah, this field's out to the right behind the trees, which will probably be a good place for roe deer to move across. Looks like there's a pheasant out there. Oh, actually, that's a buzzard. Yeah, there's a buzzard way out on the other side of the field. I thought it was a pheasant, but it's huge. Those moorhens are still chasing each other. That's nice to see. I do like seeing the birds of prey, especially around where I live. Had a red kite fly over my house not so long ago, and then as I was watching the sparrows feeding in my garden, a sparrowhawk flew out, and it didn't catch anything, but it's definitely spooked them all. But that's the second time I've had a sparrowhawk in my garden, so it's definitely in the same area. And it'll be nice for it to come back and actually get a picture of it, because the times I've seen it I haven't had my camera on me, which is typical, but always a robin. Might be two. Can another one moving around. He's sitting nice in the sun. Oh no, he's just gone. Blackbird's just been flushed out. Probably spooked by the robin. Grey herons just flew up. I might have been a calling actually. Don't often hear the call of a heron, because I'm normally hunting. There's a swan in someone's garden. Yeah, all of these houses are back onto the river. They have huge gardens, and the wildfowl can just come up onto their gardens and they can sleep there, they can eat there. I don't know how old these houses are, but because a lot of the houses nowadays have really small gardens, I'm assuming they're probably back to the 1950s or 60s, just because of the size of the houses and the gardens. But yeah, imagine having swans and mallards come onto your back garden every day. some really nice willow trees coming out, leaning over the river, and all like a very light golden colour. I've already mentioned that autumn is one of my favourite seasons now, just because of all the colours it brings. Obviously I like the summer as well, but I think just because it's a season of immense change, all the colours change and the leaves fall. It's a nice way to think that it's okay to let things go. The sun's directly in my eyes, and there's some birds in the tree in front of it. It's either fieldfares or redwings. But they're so backlit I can't tell. I'm just coming up to a bend in the riverbank now, so I'll make my way round and then get the long lens on it. I've got my new 150-600 Sigma lens on, and I'm still loving it. Surprising how lightweight it is, and the quality that I'm getting out of it, it's incomparable to what I've had before. Yeah, I still can't work out what they are, but they're slightly smaller than the blackbird. I was actually not feeling like coming out today, but once I had a bit of breakfast, got myself dressed and out, and I do actually feel better. I don't know if it's just because I've been at home a lot more and sort of filling my time in at home, and I sort of felt a bit bored and felt like not doing anything else, but I knew I wanted to come out, and I'm definitely glad I did, just for being outdoors, getting a bit of exercise in, even if it's just a walk. So I hope that you found a bit of solace in doing the same, even if it's just up and down your street. And no matter where you go, there's always wildlife, so it's one of my main benefits of just coming out. I can hear the birds. I don't necessarily have to have my camera on me most of the time, but when I do, there's always something to photograph. So there's another slight bend. It's almost like a U bend that I'm coming to the end to. But yeah, all the willow trees are hanging over. You could probably hear them. There's a woodpecker. I can't see where it is. I hope you can hear the willow tree branches moving in the wind. I think one of my plans for next year is to actually do a proper plan, rather than, as much as I enjoy the walks and I still want to do them, it would be nice to just find one area and stay there. Stay there for however long I need to, and just see what comes. Because I think there's a better chance of more coming to you rather than you trying to find it, whatever it may be. So that's definitely one of my goals for next year, is to just find or identify what I want to find, see where they live, see how they live. Are they active at dusk? Are they active at dawn? Are they active during the day? There's a long-tailed tit just above me. And yeah, just plan it that way. I mean, I still want to do the walks, as I said, but it would just be nice to actually plan ahead. Still quite a lot of berries on these trees. The blue tit as well. another long-tailed tip is, when there's one, there's always more. And lovely little birds. So all the tits are in the tree opposite the river now. All socialising with each other. Some more hen just down there. I'll try and get a picture of him. It's got a nice glow from the sun on him. There's a willow in front that stretches right across the river to the bank on the other side. It's almost like it could be a bridge for a squirrel or something. Quite a lot of the trees here do actually still have the leaves on it. It's still a lovely golden colour. There's more blue tits flying across now. Yeah, there's an oak tree on the other side, next to a willow. It's not bright golden, but it's like a warm light brown. But as far as all the other trees, they've lost all their leaves now. I think depending on how December goes in terms of our lockdown, I don't know if I'll be able to go as far as I want to for like my end of year trips. But despite what's happened this year, I've actually had some really nice encounters. And I hope that you've maybe encountered something close to home that you didn't know before, or you saw a wildlife spectacle this year despite what's happened. Some quite muddy areas with lots of prints. So I don't know if there'll be dog, there'll most likely be dog, but also whether otters come up, because there's like little mudslides that come up from the riverbank, which they could potentially use to get out and get in. But I can't really work out from these footprints if it is of them or of domestic dogs. But it definitely looks like it's used by something that comes in and out of the water, so I'm going to carry on a bit more and then I'll start to turn back, because I am facing into the sun, so any subjects that come up in front is not going to look very good. Yeah, so the part I've come up to now, the way that the river bends, it connects through to Deeping Lakes Nature Reserve. So where I'm at now, I'm basically, if I was to carry on, I would then find myself walking through like a wooded track and then come out to the train tracks, which then join onto the reserve. So it's probably a good couple of miles walk if I was to go all the way up to the lakes and back. But because I didn't entirely plan on going that far, I think I'll get up to that point before it goes into the wooded bit, and then make my way back to my car. But the weather's, I hit so well with the weather. I think I thought it was going to be a lot more cloudy and potentially some rain when I got here, but it's turned out so lovely. There's a pair of little grebes in the river. Yeah, a pair of little grebes. Well, I think if this is going to be the last walk, talk and shoot of the year, which it most likely will be, I'd say it's been rather pleasant. I've seen the local variety, the weather's good, there's not that many people, and yeah, I haven't been able to see what I wanted to see again for the most part, but I think just being in
any nature scenario, you just enjoy what's there before you. I definitely missed out on that. I would have gone to the Isle of Mull this year, but that's been postponed to next year. So I've got that to look forward to at least. And then things like I wanted to go and see the seals being born along the Norfolk coast. But again, I doubt that's going to go ahead. Oh, what's this? It's that. Oh, it might be that buzzard I saw earlier. It's just flying across the field. Yeah, I haven't been able to see the seals due to restrictions of people visiting the reserves. And yeah, there's a few things I definitely could have gone and seen if I was given the chance, but like, I still got to see things close to home. It's helped me rediscover the nature that's close to me. I've seen barn owls. I saw the deer at not far from home when there was a bit of a relaxation in the restrictions. Still got to go to Frampton Marsh before the volunteering ended, and I still went for a couple of daily walks. I know obviously it's been worse, or much worse, for so many people. I mean, what's happened around the world is devastating, but for those who have stuck to the rules, stayed at home, they've actually been able to rediscover either something about themselves or in nature. More than anything, a lot of people have rediscovered their local patch, which is lovely, and seen the stories of dolphins going up the Venice rivers and the goats that enter the Welsh town. Yeah, there's been good stories amongst the bad, and I think if you are able to focus on the good, then that can definitely help us get through these horrible times. I've been fortunate enough to stay in work, but I've definitely, like I said, I missed out on seeing so much more wildlife spectacles. But it could be better by later next year, and I've got many more years I can still go and do those things in my eyes, so I'm not dwelling on it too much. I've enjoyed what I have been able to see this year, and I've got some good pictures out of it. I've definitely got a few new favourites this year. One being with the stone chap that I photographed at Frampton a couple of weeks ago. That's definitely one of my new favourites. And there's been the jays at my local wood, the deer, the doe that I saw at the same local wood. That was amazing. So it hasn't been a terrible year personally. I did battle a little bit of worrying, anxiousness, as a lot of people would have. But I still got good things to look back on this year. So I think I'm coming up to the last bend before I get to Scout Island again. So if nothing else happens, then I shall end it here. Oh, there's a green woodpecker feeding on the ground. Oh, look at that. It's a full adult green woodpecker. It's happily feeding off the floor. Hope they don't mind that I'm photographing in their garden. But it seems to be totally unaware. that I'm here. Oh, it's really nice to see. I've never seen a green woodpecker out in the open for this long. It's just totally unaware. I think because I'm on the opposite side, it's not seeing me or other people as a threat. It's just always cleaning. Oh, if this is my last sighting, then that's amazing. I've never seen a green woodpecker for this long. I've normally only ever seen them flying across, making a loud call. But this one's just totally chilled, feeding. It's like it's just starting to clean itself.
So this was a rather enjoyable trip out. I think I saw an awful lot more than I thought I would see. And the wren at the beginning, I managed to get a really nice picture of it singing on a lone branch, which will most likely be uploaded to my social media pages when this goes live as well. And yeah, it was just, the weather was lovely. There was so many birds singing. There was all sorts flying over fields. Mallards sleeping, so it was really enjoyable. And I think if it's a case that this is the last walk, talk and shoot for this year, then it definitely ended on a very lovely note. So as I mentioned in the episode, I really want to try and plan out where I want to go to and what I want to photograph specifically for next year. So I'm planning on doing that as another episode. It will sort of be like what I plan to do for 2021, obviously depending on how the situation goes. But I thought if I plan things out, I can always stick to local areas. Again, I love photographing in the Fens. There's just so much around here, and there's always a chance of, if I get the timing right, I'll be able to photograph something that I either previously haven't photographed before, or I have seen the species but I just haven't got the shot that I wanted, because a lot of the time I don't plan out what photos I want to get. It normally just happens as I'm pointing and shooting. I don't pre-plan it, and then in the end I'll still get nice pictures, but some of the time it won't be what I imagined it to be, other than if I was to plan it beforehand. So I'll do that as another episode. I'll make it out as a my plans for 2021, and just talk through the species I want to be able to find. I'll obviously have to do research on them, and yeah, if it so allows, I'll travel there for, even if it's a full day, I can then be in that place for a long amount of time. I can plan out when these species arrive, or when they come out in the daytime, if they are daytime animals, and yeah, just be able to properly plan what I want to photograph, rather than just hoping that I'll get the picture each time I go out. I think it will be just better for me to then come out with the picture I wanted and still be happy about it. I enjoy the pictures I take, but it's just the planning side that I lack. So yeah, that will most likely be my next episode. I hope you can all join me for that. And then again, if I don't get a walk, talk and shoot done, this was a very nice ending. I enjoyed talking to you while I was out and about, just talking about what happened during this year and the sights I saw. So it's really enjoyable. I really want to see this carry on into next year. Hopefully I will get some more outdoor recordings for you as well to share. So yeah, as always, thank you very much for listening. I hope that you all enjoy this upcoming Christmas, wherever you are and whoever you're with. I hope it's as good as it can be for this year. And yeah, as always, I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram. You can check out my wildlife photography on there. My website contains links to my blog and my portfolio of my favourite works from the past couple of years. So check them out. Feel free to share around. If you do want to leave comments or any reviews on my podcast episodes, you're more than welcome to through when I share the link for it. And yes, I will speak to you all again very soon, and I hope you all stay safe and well. Goodbye.
My podcast cover shows my own image created using Canva. The theme music is provided by Purple Planet Music. Check out their royalty-free music at purple-planet.com.